So today's podcast is about the Spanish Golden Visa and the old visa process. If you're thinking of buying property in Spain and you're from outside the European Union, you now have a choice to buy a property or properties to the value of €500,000 or more, and it is granted automatically. We have a list of the requirements on the Spanish Property Net. However, that does not mean that people who spend less than €500 but want to get a visa and the right to live here can no longer do it. They can, and the rules remain the same as they were prior to the new automatic visa coming in. Here is the process for getting a visa by spending less than €500,000. One thing though, you have to be aware that even when you follow all of the steps correctly and do everything you are supposed to do, then the granting of the visa is not automatic. You may be refused. We have had some 20 clients from China in the last year or so, and all but one of them have been granted the visa. The problem is that the Spanish consulate in Shanghai doesn't let you know why you may be refused, although it's almost always to do with not having enough money in a bank account and proving it is yours. So no guarantees, but all probabilities. The process is slightly different if you are inside or outside the country when you start, but let us assume you make a visit to look for properties as a first step to start off with. 1. You make a visit on a temporary visa to look for a property. Whilst here, you give power of attorney to a lawyer to apply for your NIE number and you open a bank account to receive your money. With the power of attorney, the lawyer or trustee can apply for the NIE number and avoid you having to queue for what possibly could be a very long time. They can also pick it up. 2. Once you find a suitable property, you place a deposit. Once the lawyer has checked out that it's all legal and above board with no debts or encumbrances on the property, of course, and then you have a contract. This contract has a time period on it. That can be anything from 1 month up to and including a year. The usual is 1 to 3 months, and if you get a longer period, you will usually be required to place a higher deposit. 3. Within the stipulated time period, you transfer funds to your account in Spain, the one you've opened while you've been here, for the purchase and the cost of taxes, notary, registry, real estate agency fees, etc. And your power of attorney purchases the property for you. The deeds of the property and the keys are then either sent to you in your own country, or they're held by the power of attorney until you get here. 4. Get your power of attorney to purchase a medical insurance for you in Spain, or buy one in your own country that covers medical services in Spain. This is required. 5. You must also make sure that you can prove you have means to support yourself when you come to Spain, so your bank account in your home country must show that there is enough money available to live on when you come to Spain. This is not stated the amount, but in our experience, anything over €50,000 equivalent in the local currency is usually accepted. One client of our lawyer was refused because even though they had €100,000 in their account, it had only been transferred into the account 2 days before providing details to the embassy, and it came from their father. This was too obviously not the client's money, but was given by a third party. And despite that third party being a family member, the residency application was refused as a result because they were perceived not to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. 6. You must also prove that you have no criminal record. This is true for all non-EU nationals, even if they have previously been living in another member state of the EU for a period of over a year. If this is the case, then you have to prove that you have no criminal record in the member state during your time period there. 7. With the NIE number, the medical insurance, the criminal record check, passport and property deeds in hand, you make an application in your home country at the Spanish Embassy Consulate for a visa. Because you have already made the purchase, have set up your bank account and got your NIE number, the embassy sees you have the intention to live in the country and they issue the visa for a period of 1 year. 8. At the end of the first year, you will be required to renew the visa, which will be granted for another 2 years, and then after 2 years the same will happen again. At the end of this initial period of 5 years, a permanent visa will be granted. This is usually granted automatically as long as conditions of the original application have not changed. And finally, the applicant can apply for Spanish citizenship at the end of 10 years. Once the visa is granted, then there are a series of actions you need to take to get yourself registered. We will cover those in a further podcast. If your circumstances are different, if you have any questions, want to know any more, or want to start the process yourself, do not hesitate to get in touch with us on info@ spanish-property.net. That's info@spanish-property.net. Or you could go onto Twitter and ask me at Greyhunt, Grahunt.